So in this video, we are going to be looking at how to update objects, how to mutate objects. In the previous video, we looked at how to update a primitive, which is our count variable inside our app store. But now we're going to be looking at how to update this user object, And before we begin, I'm going to be adding some more properties. Let's add some more properties to make this more interesting. So I'm going to add a username, let's say Fiki, and I'm going to add, let's say level, and I'm going to put let's say beginner, because that's the level for this course. Yeah, beginner, intermediate kind of. So you have username Fiki, level, beginner, and so we have a more elaborate object here, and we have this profile inner object in it. So we're going to be looking at how to update this object. We're going to look at how to update this object using our store setter. So back to our store demo. I've commented out all these updates because I'm going to be pushing this repo to GitHub, and that is because I want to make it available for you guys that are taking this course, so that you can still see the examples and work with them, so you can uncomment them and play around with it. But down here, I'm going to start displaying stuff for the object. So I'm going to display the two top level properties in the object. That will be username and level. I'm going to display the two of them in this H3. So let's say username, and to get that, we say app store dot user. You're going to use the dot method. Dot, you see, we're already getting the IntelliSense giving us the different properties. So we want to display the username here, username. Then I'm going to put a pipe in between that, and we're going to display the level, and the level will be, say, app store again dot user dot level. Okay, so we have those two in place for our display, but we just don't want to display them. We want to update them. So first, let us see that everything is displaying correctly. Let's save this and go to our browser. So here in our browser, everything looks fine. Username Fiki, level beginner. So username Fiki, level beginner. That's all good. Now let's try to update it. So let's bring back our button. I'm going to put a button here. A button, and we set an on click on it. Give it a callback, and we'll call set app store. Okay. So we have our button, and this will just say update user. So how do we update this object? In our store? So the first thing we have to do is we have to pick the object. We have to pick the property itself. So we have two properties in our state now, in our store state. It's count and user. So we need user. We picked it. And you might want to remember this from the direct assignment, how you pick stuff. Just pick it. And then you set the object that you want to use to update it. Set it equal to an object. So what does the object take? It takes the properties you want to update. What properties in this user object do you want to update with this mutation operation? And that can be a single property or multiple properties. So for me, I just want to update the username for now. So username, I'm going to change the username to my GitHub username, which is coder on Flick. So select the user and pass in an update object. So let's save that. And let's go to our browser. So in our browser, everything still looks as is, but we have our update user button now. But the properties are still the same as the defaults from our store. Now if we click update user, watch the username, that's this username, watch it. And you see, it's updated. It's updated from Fiki to coder on Flick. Refresh, click it, and you can see that beginner, the level beginner, is not updated. Which means that it is not swapping the entire object. It's using that merge syntax to merge the new updates into the existing object, and it's doing it in an immutable fashion, because this is a store and stores in SolidJS are immutable. So we have been able to update our username. That's cool. Let's try and update the two, username and level. Let's try and update the two. So let's go back to VS Code to do that. Back in VS Code, let's say we also want to update our level. So we can raise the level to intermediate. Raise the level to intermediate. Good. Let's save that. And now let's go back to our browser. Now in our browser, first let me refresh this so that everything goes back to Fiki beginner. And now if we click update user, the two items are updated. Username changes to coder on flick and level changes to intermediate. So that's how you update your object. But so far we're still updating like the top level items in the object, the top level properties. What if we want to update an inner property? Yeah. Remember, we have a profile object inside our user object. Let's just go to VS Code. So yeah, remember in our app store, we have a profile object. And this profile object contains name and age. What if we want to update this age? Let's say we want to update the age. You see, it's more nested. It's really deep into the object itself. We have to step into the user, then step into profile, then before we get into age itself. So how do we update something like that? Now, this is going to be introducing us to something called the path syntax. So first, let's duplicate this. Let me move this in. Good. We'll duplicate this. So yeah, I just want to show age. And let's remove this level. Remove level. So we want app user profile age. When it comes to getting an item, you can just keep using your dot notation to drill down. So we have age, but now how do we use set app store? Let's clear this. How do we use set app store for such an update? Go to update age here. For such deeply nested property, how do we use set app store? So like I said, we're going to be using something called the path syntax. And this is how the path syntax works. Inside your set app store, you use quotes or callbacks, as we'll be seeing later. But for now, quotes to define the hierarchy of the property you want to get from parent to the exact item. And the last value inside this set app store is going to be the value you want to decide. The last item inside set app store is going to be the value you want to set that property to. So you continue, you start climbing using these quotes. So what you do is path to property, and the last item will be the value of the property. Path to property, and this can keep going down. But I hope you don't have such kind of super deeply nested objects. But it can keep going down, and this value, this last item, the last item will be the value. So, for example, for our user with a profile and age, you say user profile age. Now, like I said, you can keep adding more if you still need to drill down. You can keep adding more. You still need to drill down. But age is what we want to update here. Age is what we want to update. So we say user, after user, inside user, profile, inside profile, age, then the value. What do we want to set age to? I want to set it to 66. So let's save that. And see what happens. So now back in our browser, let's refresh. We have age 50, we have update age, which we are currently using the path syntax to update. And when I click this, turns to 66. Turns to 66 as expected. So that's how you use the path syntax. You just walk through the object till you get to the property that you want to update. Then the final item in the set app store argument list is going to be the value that you want to set it to. It's going to be the value you want to set it to. And here we've been able to set age to 66. Like I said, the path syntax also allows for callbacks, but that will be shown in our next video where we look at how to update arrays.